Welcome to 30 Days, that time again. It's day number 15 here on Quad V. We're about to get on the way here. We actually have a game of Strelok versus Hawk for you on Lost Temple. Now, I know it's been a couple days since I've actually done any Starcraft, and today I have vowed to get back on the track, which is essentially what I'm going to be doing today. We are, however, 15 days in towards the project, which means we are halfway there. That is right. We are, in fact, halfway there, and that is a really good thing. Now, we're already starting here on Lost Temple, and we have Strelok sitting here as Terran, and we have Huck, and the other side is Protoss. Now, we haven't seen a lot of Protoss in the latter days of 30 Days of StarCraft. Now, it was mostly focused on Terran versus Zerg, which ironically had mostly a Terran victory over Zerg in general. So we'll have to see whether or not Protoss can actually win from Terran this time around. But of course, it's all about who is the better player, etc., and all of that jazz. Now, Huck is, let's see what Huck is up to. As, he is actually going for just his probe, and a pylon already been built out right in the front near his initial expansion, so he'll be able to do all his stuff right there. Now, the spawn itself, both players have spawned on exactly the same side of the map, right in front of one another, and that is a little bit different from what we've had before. Normally, what we've seen before, we got a spawn here and a spawn here. So the Huck has actually done a chrono boost on, I believe, his probe, so he's going to go and try to get more minerals a lot more quicker. On the other side, though, the command center is not the orbital command center just yet, but he is going for a barracks and a supply depot. You'd think generally that you would get an orbital command center by now, but it is not the case just yet. As this probe is going in to see what is going on, just scout a little bit. The question now, right, is does Strelok know where Huck is? No, he does not know where his spawn is. Then again, he knows about how long it took for the probe to get there, so in general you have a decent idea of where the enemy is. Same thing in Warcraft as well. If you spawn in Warcraft like next to one another, and it takes about 5 seconds for the enemy acolyte worker / whatever to get to your base, and you know, hey, he's right near me, so we'll have to do some of that. Orbital command center, although being built up, we'll see whether or not he's actually going to what he's going to boost with that thing. On the other side of the map, we have a pylon being built, and a gateway finally up, as well as a cybernetics core. Very early cybernetics core coming out. Not a double gateway. We could be looking at multiple things here. Maybe perhaps something along the line of stalkers going around. We'll have to see if that is the case. Remember, this is just my very initial idea of what StarCraft is like. Remember that I am not actually amazing at this game, and it's up to you to give me comments about that. So don't rage on the comments about what is going on and what is correct and what is not correct. Let's just say that. We got a factory being built here, and the second refinery coming up as well. So we're expecting something. Well, not Helions, because you do that against Zerg, but maybe something along the lines of Thors. Who knows? More bunker actually being built. Wow. Trying to get those zealots out. The reactor is also up, so Marauders. No, my apologies. Ghost? Yeah, Ghost, obviously. Ghost was Terran. You'll be able to use the EMP in case of any sentries coming around, and the sentries are coming around now. One queued up, and a warp gate as well queued up. So we have 2 gateways coming up now, with a couple of sentries in the queue. Now we'll have to see whether or not what is going to be happening with those. As on the other side, we have a Stargate coming up for Strelok. Strelok could be looking at medevacs, something along those lines. Barracks now coming up as well. Double barracks now. And Marines, still no signs of any ghosts. But we do have Marines being built. No real aggressive units. And also, those barracks. We got ourselves a tech lab. Tech lab being built up on towards the barracks. So siege tanks are a possibility here. There's cybernetics core is going for the warp gate. We haven't seen any proxy pylons just yet. Nothing near close range, as Huck has been too busy trying to churn out these sentries, and we'll have to see whether or not he can actually do anything like that. We have Stalkers, though, and Zealots. Zealots being good, and a Raven now as well as an Observer from the Cybernetics Corps. And there's that Stalker, and he will be trying to harass as much as he can. Let's see if he can actually get some harassment done on towards these SCVs. I don't think he has Blink just yet. He has a robotics facility, but nothing yet aside from building an Observer. So maybe an Immortal later on. But I haven't seen anything along the line of blinking being built. As the Stalkers are actually going around towards the high yield at the bottom of the map. Now he's going to try to clear that out and build his next, his second Nexus. Stim packs are being resumed, and Immortals being queued up on the robotics facility. So Immortals are queued, as a little bit predicted. But we still have the starport being built up with a tech lab sitting on the side. Another barracks coming up. Looks like a full Marine build with a Raven in tow. And he's just going around. We have a couple of Marauders as well. And they'll be able to do a lot of damage towards the Zealots. We have these Stalkers still going around. Now, they haven't one Immortal in tow, and that will do the most of the damage here. But the Stalkers will just sit around and maybe do some blinking around. And he does have a proxy pylon now straight on top of the Naga tower, as well as the first expansion being built here by Huck with a pylon to boot. I'm trying to get those minerals up as fast as you can. We have medevacs. Medevacs are being built up now, right on top of the starport. As another tech lab is coming up. Now with more and more Marauders, that could be interesting. But he's low, Strelok is low on minerals at the moment. He will need to work hard to get all those back. And he has not really opted for an expansion yet. More gateways and Immortals being built. Where is that another gateway coming out? We have a third gateway. A third gateway being built now by Huck. Quick Scout is coming out. Strelok knows what's up. He does know about the double gateway, the triple gateway even, as well as the robotics facility. So he knows could be Immortals on the map. Huck is decided to move out all his a lot of his probes to get towards the high yield. We do have a little bit of an engagement here. Shields are already coming out from the sentries. As all these force fields are on the ground, the medevacs are quickly to heal the Marines as they are on the field. Medevacs will run out of energy very, very quickly. Now we have the point defense from the Raven being popped down versus the Immortal, which could potentially block off any attacks, but we'll have to see whether or not that is the case. And currently, it is looking like we have medevacs with Marines in them. No, they're just dropping them off. The problem right now is that Strelok has is that his base is essentially pushed in. The shields go up on towards the sentries. Here we go. All the force fields are being popped up. All the Marines are being popped down. They're stuck behind the field. As these Zealots will go down. But these shields are doing exactly what they need to do, and all these force fields are essentially blocking off the Marauders and making sure that the Marines that are stuck behind it are just pinned in, but he's going to move forward. There come the medevacs. The medevacs are being attacked. Well, one medevac is down. That medevac placement is a little bit bad. Force field comes off. As these Immortals will be primed. One Immortal's down. Second Immortal's down as well. Third one will go down shortly. The Marines are getting pounded quite heavily as the Marauders are being pinned down behind the force field. Towards the Zolnaga Tower they go. One sentry is down. We just have 2 Stalkers remaining, as well as 3 sentries. This proxy will go down. But at what cost? At what cost? Most of the medevacs did go down in the onslaught, and a couple of Marauders went down as well. But a whole bunch of the Immortals did die in that one, which is great news for Strelok, because that means the high damage units are on the map. Could have gone at Huck could have done a little bit better with those force fields, trying to split up the troops, but yeah. Wasn't much you could do about that. As finally Strelok decides to go for his expansion. And I am under the impression right now that Huck has overstretched his economy too early. Going for his second Nexus very, very early on, and not even going for the natural But he does have this army of Stalkers, and Immortals coming up now. And he's building more gateways, a lot more gateways. 3 more to be exact. On the other side, though, we have more Ravens being built. The command center actually goes up for the orbital command. More Ravens being built. That'll be great with that PD. The medevac is quick to heal everything up on the field. He's a little bit low on energy, though. Because again, Huck finds himself around the tower with his army of Stalkers and Zealots and Mortals, and these sentries as well. He's got a lot of sentries, so a lot of micro potential there for those force fields being plopped down and really pushing away the enemy. And more and more units are being warped in on towards this pylon, and it does look like we have another engagement upon our hands. So this PD will be need to plop down quickly. As a second Nexus is now coming up for Huck, who's finally decided to go for another expansion as we have some activity going on here. What was that? Seriously. What? Okay, fair enough. Let's scout in there. Didn't he have his scanner ready or something? Scanner sweep. Yeah, well, almost. Bit of a waste, to be honest. There we go. a little bit awkward there. Huck currently is just keeps on warping in new units, and well, we have more. Ooh, we have siege tanks and siege tank technology being researched. Ooh, siege tanks on this ridge. Ooh, that's a sexy thought right there. As well as more Marauders being built now. We'll have to see if anything like that will actually happen. We have a Twilight Council being built now as well by Huck. Trying to upgrade his Zealots. Well, at least his ground units. And charge as well. So he's trying to build up, he's trying to improve his units as much as he can. But he's not doing anything along the lines of armor or anything like that. This Observer is just going around. And Huck currently aggressively expanding towards the the other high yield. 2 pylons plop down. As more and more units do try to get on the field. My apologies, my phone is ringing, and I need to really ditch it. There we go. As the phone is gone. Meanwhile, though, we have not much going on towards the field. We finally have some siege tanks coming out now from Strelok. As Strelok will potentially be able to get those siege tanks on the ridge and do massive damage. But Huck is scouting that out with that observer, and we don't have any missile turrets just yet to scout out that observer, and maybe an idea for Strelok to plop something like that down in order to make sure that he can see it. But he's running out of minerals fast, and he only has this other expansion to go for him, and he's going to be in big trouble if Huck keeps his army there and essentially, making sure that he cannot expand. He himself, though, has got more and more expansions going for him with all of these gateways just everywhere. And we finally have Protoss ground weapons and war prisons now as well being built. As Strelok is really between the rock and a hard place. More siege tanks being built. And he's probably going to wait for a couple of siege tanks to deploy, but we'll have to see. Can he actually? Yeah, there we go. Siege tanks coming forward. And essentially denying any ability for Huck to get close towards the line. But look at all these Marauders. That is a lot of Marauders right there. Let's take a look here. That's a lot of them. As well as a whole ton of Marines. So we had a war person trying to drop him by whatever they tried to drop. It died horribly. And we have Psystorm with High Templars being researched. Look at these weapons here. Yeah, 6 High Templars on the map right now. With that, Psystorm will do massive damage towards this army. We still have all these siege tanks down here. As it does look like the siege tank army is going to go forward and deploy. and maybe coax Huck in, but yeah, never mind, because that observer is dead. And Huck is just wisely falling back, putting up the shields. As Strelok's actually building. Yeah, he's trying to get his new expansion underway because he's running out of minerals fast. But we do have an engagement going on here. As the engagement is underway now. We have a lot of stuff going on here as this medevac are probably not going to survive for very long until these side storms do come out. The Marauders need to watch out, and all these siege tanks are going to go down. Although a lot of the damage is being pounded in towards the army of Huck. He does have a couple of reinforcements coming in, but at what cost? He did manage to take out at least one Marauder here, as all these zealots are just rushing around the map. The shields are up, the siege tanks are coming in, another side storm coming in as most of these ground units are extremely low, but we still have a significant amount of troops low on the map. More units are being warped in. As these units are so low and there's no medevac in sight. Is there any medevac being produced? Yes, there is. Medevacs are being produced. What else do we have? We have Kendron and Arm. What does that do? That's new to me. Let's see, can I find... no, he's not building it with that. Not building it with that either. Where is the High Templar? No, that's... Well, whatever it is, I'm sure it's important. So we have another engagement, and once again, the siege tanks will be primed. One siege tank is down. They're still trying to get in towards the Stalker. Another siege tank is going to die, and they're going to go and die now. These shields cannot hold on for very long, although the Stalkers will be primed by the Marauders. Do a great job, and we have a couple of Archons coming on the field now. Oh, both Archons down, as both High Templars manage to run out of energy and try to morph in towards towards a High Templar, or at least the four of them. The Psystorm did its damage, and now the road is open. The road to Stratholm is open. The Immortal is going to die. The siege tanks are in a row. There is nothing here to defend the base of Huck, and I don't think that this base is going to survive very long. The siege tanks are deployed. We do have a couple of High Templar coming in, and they're all dying. They're dying like dogs. The Psystorm does come in, though. One of the siege tanks is down. The second is down as well. More siege tanks deployed, and the Archons are coming in now. But at what a cost! The army of Strelok did some big damage there. Not towards the probes though, but to the High Templars as well as the Stalkers. But he still hasn't managed to get a third expansion going for him. While Huck is pounding away, and this loss for him right now, for Huck, is really only temporary because now, well, look at all these warp gates, and they're all building. Zealots, Immortals, High Templars, you name it, he's got it. There they all are. I would say warping straight from Ire, but yeah, that's kind of a like a Starcraft joke that really does not apply anymore, considering the planet is dead. But whatever. And there's a factory once again coming up. More siege tanks and more Ravens being built, and now we're looking at the final stretch of the game right here, as Strelok is quickly running out of minerals, and he needs to get the minerals up as fast as he can to get his units up on the field, because he's gotten almost no defense whatsoever. These two siege tanks, perhaps, but there's nothing but a little bit of air that can engage that. Not a siege tank on standby, but look at his army. We got two Archons ready to tank in the damage. The Stalkers are standby as well as these Immortals. It will do ridiculous amount of damage, especially first armored. Here we go. Oh, that Raven is dead. There we go. At the cost of one Immortal, though. As the three siege tanks did what they had to do. And so right now, Huck is just focusing on improving his current forces. As Huck could be looking to, yeah, he is. He is going to blink in. Hello there, Strelok. Thank you for your base. They're all going to die now. Very well moved there. Great harassment. And now they're going to go after the SUV, and this is going to mean that Strelok has no minerals. No minerals whatsoever. That is going to hurt him bad, and he does not have anything to help him out on that front. As all these SUVs are trying to heal the command center. But the blink from the Stalkers was a little bit too clever, as the expansion of Strelok is going to die. And now Strelok is forced his hand. He'll need to move his siege tanks in quick, but with these boosted zealots, will be very difficult to counter. And he'll need to move his marauders in a very good position in order to survive. But look at all these stalkers. That is a lot of stalkers. Now they will. That is a lot of stalkers. Look at that. That's 45 stalkers. That's ridiculous. Nope. Siege tanks are deploying, raging in towards the stalkers quite badly, as most of the army of Strelok is going forward. Another Psy Storm coming off as the Ploid comes in. Once, good luck, a good game is being pulled off, as the Psy Storms are too much for Strelok to hold off, and Huck Smith has to pat him on the back for taking out this expansion late game, making sure that Strelok had nothing to lean on, as this army of stalkers was just too much to hold off, as even with the siege tanks in combination with the Psy Storm. Very well played from both sides. Huck very, very aggressively expanded, very much so for Protoss, as Strelok just could not move with the flow. It's a shame for him, but I'm sure it was a moment of learning for him. This has been Ace Pick here on Quad V for 30 days. This was day number 15. Turn in tomorrow for day number 16, and we'll be back with you, well, tomorrow. Leave your comments below, as always.